There we go. All right. So let me just kind of recap what we've covered. Bloodhound, bred for endurance. He's not a fast guy. Best nose of the whole group, and he bays, doesn't bark, and he is an anatomically perfect sniffer. So the eyes even droop. All of those wrinkles just kind of are designed to like bring the scent right to the nose. Um, baying is kind of like a like a ooh like a what am I thinking
Like
of?
a
Like a
like
yeah,
a
like a
howl.
howl, like almost a howl. Yeah. Yes, Casey. Ow.
Casey, you need to get on speaker and do it.
No way.
But these guys do drool a lot, so definitely gotta clean up those wrinkles. Check the skin folds. You're gonna have to check it for drool, and you know you don't want anything crusty. Um, yeah, because you're on video now, Casey. We could loop that. They are really good dogs, very sweet, good around kids, super tolerant, to a point. They kind of allow kids to just kind of manhandle them. Um, they say they're a little reserved with strangers. I've always met them, and it doesn't take long for them to warm up. But when I met them, they just they have to sniff you out. I don't know if they were bred from them, but they're in the same group. So yeah, Emily, they kind of look a lot like the Basset, but just like a really big Basset. Different colors, so whereas the Basset has the um, the hound colors, this guy can be black and tan, liver and tan, or just all red. So they get a lot of problems because of those wrinkles. So they can get ectropion, entropion, GDV, lots of ear infections. So clean the ears out, skin fold dermatitis, CHD, elbow dysplasia. So lots of issues. I think I have a picture of skin fold dermatitis coming up. It's gross. It's super gross. Yep, it's coming. It's coming. I've got grossness coming for you. Um, let's see. Here's one. It's kind of a younger one, but even those folds in the neck, they're just really bringing all the scents right up to his little snoot. But check his lips, make sure there's no food stuck in it. Check in those ears. If he goes swimming, gonna have to dry those ears out. You can see some of the drool coming off of this guy. He's a little bit older, so his eyes are really starting to sag a little bit. They're cute though. So this is skin fold dermatitis. The loose skin is actually bred into them so they can bring in the smells. So it acts kind of like channels almost. So it just kind of draws the scent up into their nose, and then they can trap some of it in there so they can like keep on course when they're looking for humans and things. So this picture is a little hard to see. So let me go ahead and draw. So this is a bulldog. So I'm just going to draw where his anatomy is. So here's his little snoot here. There's a nostril here and a nostril here. His eye is actually right here, and then his other eye would be over on this side. So what they did was they pulled back the skin fold here where this arrow is, and all of this white stuff is all crust and buildup. It's a super bad infection. But that skin just starts to rub, and if there's anything trapped under there, it rubs, it gets infected, it smells. It smells really, really bad. So definitely got to clean those out. So if you're going to get one of these dogs, you're going to have to constantly be cleaning that out. It's kind of gross, but they're cute. Then we got the blue tick coonhound. He is adorable. I like him. So he kind of originated alongside the American English Coonhound. This one is a pretty new one to the AKC. He came in 2009, so he's pretty new to the group here. And then they thought George Washington used to breed these guys. So if you ever seen any of the paintings with George Washington or go to his Instagram, you'll see when he was like crossing the Delaware, he had some dogs with him, and all of the dogs in those paintings are blue tick coonhounds. So they think that he perhaps bred them himself to go hunting. Super great at following cold trails, which was good when he was crossing the Delaware, and it's water. Definitely needs good walks. Loves to play in the woods. He is super calm indoors, but this guy is a little bit of a thief, so keep your food out of reach. Oops. He'll snatch it right from you, but typically really good natured, good with kids, people, dogs, small animals only if they're raised with him. I probably wouldn't go get a rabbit or a guinea pig with a 4-year-old blue tick coonhound that's never been introduced to one. So as long as they've been socialized and know that it's not something to chase and play with, then it's okay. But they have that pretty mottled blue and black spots on their ears, tails, and sides. They can also have tan or red ticking, and their head and ears should be mostly black, especially if you're going to show them. The book says he has no health concerns, but he's also kind of a wrinkly fellow and long ears, so I'd probably just go ahead and keep those ears clean and wipe out his skin folds. We should Google a picture of George Washington with his dogs. We'll do that. I've been meaning to make a George Washington Instagram. I keep saying that I'm going to, and just like put a whole bunch. Mr. George W. So there's a blue tick. He's got a lot of ticking on here. He does look like he has silky ears. I love that mottled look to him. It's pretty. Yep, I would definitely clean those ear folds and those neck folds. Clean his ears. And then you get the Borzoi. Kind of look like a fuzzy greyhound almost. So in Russian, this is kind of a Russian breed. This one, Borzoi, means, oops, I lost my page. It means fast. That's all it means. So these guys have 3 kinds of coats. You can get a flat coated one. You can get a wavy, and you can get a curly. I always say that if I was going to be a dog, I would be a Borzoi. Because some days my hair is flat, some days it's wavy, and some days I leave it curly. And I'm part Russian, so I am a Borzoi. So they do have super strong jaws. They can hold down a wolf, and he used to have a different name. He used to be called the Russian Wolfhound. But somewhere along the way, they changed it to Borzoi. But he will run outside, he chases other small animals, but generally pretty good mannered inside. And Bernadette's a Chihuahua. Good with kids, but this is another one. It's not a super playful, kind of like the Afghan. They're just kind of little standoffish, reserved with strangers. They come in any color, um, and it's kind of like the Greyhound. They come in any color too, but they do get GDV because they're very barrel chested. So you just gotta make sure that they're not eating too fast, and if they start to get bloat, you get them in immediately. He's another one of my favorites. I keep saying this is my favorite in the group, but I have too many favorites. I need a farm with all of them. I need all of the animals. I'll leave that up there for a second for you guys. Everybody good with those notes? All right, let me show you a picture of this one. This is more of a wavy coat. And you can see like his, if we eliminate some of that hair, it's really a lot like a Greyhound. So this whole chest area you would have to worry, because the stomach is sitting here and it's on an angle. So just make sure that they're eating properly and not eating too fast. Otherwise they're gonna suck in a whole bunch of air and they're gonna get bloated, and it's just not a good situation. But beautiful dog. So they have a little bit different. They're very. You've covered the word or the prefix dolicho, right? There's long. So he's very dolichocephalic, and a lot of the breeders refer to it as a Roman nose because it's kind of this very straight, where they don't have that little divot in there. So they call it a Roman nose. So he's one of the only ones. I love the little end here. He kind of reminds me of the dog that's on, what is it, The Simpsons? The one that they have, and the little nose kind of like crooks
Santa's Little
down.
Helper.
Yes, yeah. That's what it kind of reminds me of. But he's the one with a Roman nose. Here's a flat-coated one. So he looks a lot more like a Greyhound, but it's still a longer coat than a Greyhound. The tail, look at that tail. I don't know if you could see it all the way down to the ground there. Just super, super long. And then this is kind of a combination. There's some wavy, well, they're mostly wavy coated. But I like this picture to kind of see especially the standing one, and then this one you can totally see the tail. Just super long, gorgeous, gorgeous dogs. So pretty. But yeah, any color, any color. Oh, and somebody, I can't remember who it was now, emailed me. I will be posting, I have a hound color PowerPoint, and I thought I added it to Edmodo, but I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that up there later for you guys so you have it. It's just a few slides, just I think it was for the Chesapeake Bay Retriever, where it's got some of the weird like dead grass and all that. So I'm going to post that there later for you. Yeah, that tail probably would hurt. It looks like a whip. Looks like a whip. This one's cute. This is called the Chirnico dell'Etna. Chirnico. Chirnico. So they think it's a little bit smaller version of the Pharaoh Hound, which we're also gonna cover, but this guy came from Italy and is pretty new to the AKC. So 2015 they started putting him in shows. Super lively little guy, very affectionate. He does tend to be a little independent. A lot of these dogs are very smart, so they can have a little bit of a sense of independence where like if they don't want to do something, they may not do it. They don't have a very long coat, so this is not an outdoor dog at all, so definitely needs to live indoors. And we talked about a lot of dog-like cats. This is a very cat-like dog. It's very fastidious cleaner, constantly licking itself, keeping itself clean. So that might be annoying to some people, especially if you have a sound issue, like certain noises bother you. That's going to be this guy because he's constantly cleaning his little paws and his face, and so he's a very, very clean dog. He loves to be warm too, and they only come in this monochromatic, so it's like a tan to like a dark chestnut color. And there's not a whole lot of listed major health concerns. It's not a super common breed, which is probably why they haven't listed anything major coming into play yet. But, you know, if they start breeding them more or overbreeding them, that's when you're going to start to see, you know, some issues with them. Very beautiful dog, though. Should I leave that up there for a second for you guys? Y'all must be sleepy today. It's so quiet. Look how pretty that guy is. Super pretty, very monochromatic, eye straightforward, so it's definitely a sight hound. So eye on the prize with this guy. Beautiful dog. I don't think this one is going to be on the ID test if I remember. Did I say? Nope, wrong way. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not putting this one on the ID test because him and the Pharaoh Hound literally look exactly the same. The images that I was able to find looks exactly the same. So without having some sort of size reference, like a soda can or something next to them, I don't think it's fair to put them both on the test. So I'm not going to put him on the ID portion. He does kind of look like a big Chihuahua. Here's another view. Very easy coat care. You probably just have to wipe him down a little bit and he's good to go. Would not have to worry about any skin folds with this one, which is good. But they're kind of pretty. And then we got the Dachshund. I know these are super, super popular. Miss Nelson has one, and she loves them. Loves her, I should say. But you can get them in a standard size. You can also get the little minis. Adorable. So their name has a meaning. They are a little German dog, so it means badger dog. Oop, lost my mouse. Badger dog. So it means DACHS means badger, and then Hund is dog. We get some language class in here today. You get a little German. We had French yesterday, and today is German. If any, I don't know, I don't think there's anybody else here from Wisconsin, but I am. So the state animal there is a badger, and if you've ever met a badger, they're not a very nice, not a nice. They're just they kind of go at you, and they're kind of aggressive. So that can be their personality too. They're a little bit bold, a little bit barky. There was a Dachshund X. I'm not sure what that is, Ashley. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it just means that she was mixed because she was
Yeah.
obviously bigger than your average dachshund, but
Yeah.
on her intake paper, it said Dachshund X. So I was like, what the heck?
Hmm.
My dad's dachshund is like 25 pounds.
Oh,
Two
wow.
of them. They're big, and then the smallest one is 10.
Mm-hmm.
And my little dachshund, he's a long hair, and he's only 11 pounds.
Oh.
But he's the cutest out of all four. So I'm
They
a little
are
biased.
super cute. I love them. I love that they come in a variety of coat patterns. So you got a smooth type. Oops, smooth. You've also got the long, and you've also got the wire. Sometimes I think wire gets confused and can start to look like other breeds, but the owners will definitely let you know if you get it mixed up with another breed. They'll be like, no, it's a wire hair dachshund. But the wire's usually a little more social. The long-haired ones are quieter. I think that's more to do with the fact that we're grooming those long-haired ones, so they're just super used to being with humans, and they're very socialized. Generally, and just in general, these all are pretty good with kids and the family. Can be a little bitey, a little snappy.
They're
Um,
clingy.
they are. They are.
Yeah, my little one, his name's Mellow. He does not leave me alone.
Aw.
I can try and like study, and he'll jump in my lap and get
Mm-hmm.
under the book. Like he does not know what social distancing is or personal space.
Emily, I'm gonna have to pull up a picture of a badger. Um, they are mean little critters. They have these huge claws, and I don't know. It's just this mammal, like it's just mean looking. Um, but dachshunds, you do have to be careful. They are diggers. I don't know if yours is a digger too, but regular fences don't usually do the trick. Sometimes you have to, well, unless they're really well trained and well mannered, you may have to dig a little further down, put the fence a little deeper to keep them in. And they have different requirements for coat patterns. So smooth is obviously not going to require as much care, wire a little more care, and then long much more care. But lots of different colors. You get sable, solid red, cream, black and tan, wild boar, which is more of like a grayish mixture, gray and tan. Then you got your dapples. You got your single dapple or double dapple. Um, the biggest problem with these guys is because their backs are so long, they would get IVDD. And if they are double dapple, they have the possibility of either being deaf, blind, or both. So you just got to be mindful of that. So if you're going to purchase a double dapple, just make sure that you're prepared if it is deaf or blind. Aw, Ariel, hopefully this ends soon so you can bring your dog home.
I know. I went to go see him yesterday. My little
Aw.
baby. I'll post a picture of him on Facebook in the photo.
Okay, please do, please.
He's the cutest ever.
Yes, they are good diggers. Yeah, Ashley was like, they love digging in the beds. Find them rolled in the blanket. Later on, I have a video for you guys. Either tomorrow or Friday, we'll watch it about working some working dogs that are like digging all over the place, and all the hound dogs. It's a pretty fun video. Here's one, smooth coated, super cute. So I like to just give you a little bit of history and what humans have done to these guys. So back in the day, that top photo there was probably in the 40s. I think it said 1942 that picture was taken. And the bottom one is the breed standard today. So several years ago, less than 100 years ago, they had longer legs. their backs were long, but they weren't quite as long as they are today. So they didn't have the problems of IBDD and all that stuff as much as we do today. So we have bred this into them just because of how breed standards have changed. Fortunately for a lot of these breeds, like when we get to the German Shepherd dog, he's got a lot of health issues too. But they're starting to actually go back to some of the old standards because breeders are realizing that we have bred some unfortunate traits into these animals. So I like to get on my soapbox a little and be like, this is what they used to look like, and this is what you know, what we have done, what humans have done. So it's kind of sad.
That's my dad. It's one of his.
Oh,
She looks like a Bobby.
I think everyone that I've met, Jennifer, is usually pretty fast.
She was a rescue. She was abused.
Oh, I didn't even notice, Ariel. You're holding one up. Oh, she's so cute.
She's the littlest one that they have.
Oh,
The other ones definitely look like the traditional ones. They're huge.
so pretty.
You can have her. She's crazy. She always tries to lick you in the mouth.
Oh,
Okay, you can go.
well, she's cute.
She's like, "What are you annoying?"
Well, here's a picture of the single dapple. I like that. And it reminds me of like blended ice cream, like the swirly ice cream. And then here is a double dapple. So I know the light is reflecting in this poor little puppy's eyes, but that one has a blue eye. So you'll see a lot more of the bicolored eyes or both blue eyes with the double dapples. Just means a little more white is present. So some people like, you know, the more whites. I do like this. I think that's super pretty. It's such a unique coloration.
Isn't it bad to breed dapple to dapple though in any breed?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you'll get more blindness and deafness with that. This puppy is adorable though, those little fuzzy ears. So cute. And here's just the three of them. So there's your wire hair, who sometimes gets mistaken for a schnauzer, but if you mistake that in clinic and the owner is present, they will definitely let you know it's not a schnauzer. But that is the wire hair, and then you've got your smooth coat, and then your long coat.
The wired hair looks like a little old grandpa. Like a
It
little
does. And the long hair one looks like he's up to something.
Like, it's, yeah, like real fancy.
Yes.
And the short hair, the one in the middle is like,
Yeah. They are cute. Super cute. And then here's the American Foxhound. I'm not putting this one on the ID test because he looks like pretty much every other hound. He looks like a beagle. He looks like the English Foxhound. They kind of all are very, very similar. The difference between him and the English is size. The size is going to be just a little bit different. Originally, though, they did come from England, and then we started breeding them here, so then they called him the American Foxhound. He is not traditionally kept indoors. It's usually an outdoor dog, but he can be trained to be a good indoor dog. He loves people and very tolerant of kids and friendly. This is not one of those overly affectionate dogs, though. So this guy will, give you your space, or he wants his own space. But they are good working dogs. So once they get on scent, he's just gonna not want to listen quite as much. So definitely gotta train him well. They're pretty though. But typical hound colors, so your tricolor. I like the one on the right. He just looks like he's just over it. He's like, quarantine again? Oh, no.
I was just gonna say that. He's like, again, mom, another picture, really?
I love his back colors, like how, the one is, just very blotchy, and this one is kind of like blended. It's just kind of pretty. Kind of pretty. So the English foxhound, I just got a picture of his head. Um, it looks exactly like the American. So he's also not on the ID test. And just the size is the only difference. So as far as notes for this guy, just that's all I put. Everything is the same. He's just a little bit bigger. Even the book doesn't go into too much detail. There's not a whole lot of health concerns with these ones. They're just kind of basic, just your basic hound. And even standing, it's a little hard to tell the difference between him and the beagle, which is another reason I'm not putting either one of these on the ID test. They're so similar. That would be super mean to do to you. But they're kind of pretty, huh? And then you got your greyhound, which are lovely dogs. I never got a chance to go to the Greyhound Park. Did any of you? Me neither.
There's a lot of
Wait,
greyhound.
like a Greyhound racing track? Cause
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I bet there.
When we had went to Galveston when they had the my kids were younger, and they had the what is that called? It was a parade for something. Oh, Mardi Gras. So we went to the children's parade, and they had the Greyhound rescues were coming through, and they were all former racing dogs. And I just wanted to pet one. I know I have 2 dogs at home, so I wasn't looking to adopt, and I wanted to pet one, and they said no, like you had to want to be adopting one of these. They were not letting them socialize because they were such strictly structured dogs, because they were from the racing community, that they didn't want them to be pet by anybody else. I thought, oh, I just wanted to pet them, But they're real pretty, very calm, quiet, but definitely needs time to run and stretch. Got a lot of retired racers in our areas, so being kenneled is something that they're used to. So this guy would be fine in an apartment as long as he's getting out to get his exercise. If they're raised with small pets, they may be okay. The book says no small mammals. These guys are really, they're the ultimate sight hound. So anytime they see anything that catches their eye, they're just going to take off to try and chase it. So you just got to be careful of that. Little reserved with strangers, little timid. They are very sensitive dogs. So these are the ones that if you scold them too harshly, they just sulk in the corner. They look like they have their feelings hurt. They're just, they almost look like they're remorseful. They just look sad, But you got to be careful if you do live in the city and you get one of these. They don't know how to read stop signs, so they will follow anything that they're chasing into potentially dangerous situations. They can run into the street. And when we were at the apartment, there was a neighbor of ours. He had the miniature greyhounds, and that guy had broken his legs I don't know how many times.
Chasing you?
Hmm.
The dog?
Yeah, just running into, because we used to live right off of Westheimer there, so you just run into the road. But he would also jump off things and just break his legs. They're just the mini ones are just very delicate. These guys are delicate too, but mini ones are super delicate. These guys are definitely built for speed, so if you're a runner, this is probably the dog for you. Do I have any horse people in here? Because these guys have a horse gallop, so they have a double suspension gallop. We'll watch a video on this tomorrow, or maybe today if we have time. But basically double suspension just means at any given point the feet are off the ground in two positions. So when their legs are stretched apart, they're off the ground, and then when they crisscross applesauce underneath of them, they're also off the ground. So it gives them a greater speed to run faster. And they do need soft bedding. These guys are kind of thin, so they're prone to a lot of pressure sores. So definitely give them some soft bedding. You don't want those, especially as they get older. The bones are gonna, be kind of rubbing and it's gonna hurt. I just put in material for the colors because there are so many. If you go to the Greyhound website, I actually pulled up, I think I put the picture on your PowerPoint here of all the different recognized colors that they have for them. And their biggest issue is just make sure you're purchasing from a good breeder. They do tend to get bone cancer, which is the osteosarcoma that's on there. And they can get GDV because of that big barrel chest. Yes, Kayla, the Zoom Zoom dogs. I like that. I like that. Here's one. So very thin, but you can see all of those muscles, like even around the neck area and the shoulder area. Just very powerful, powerful dogs. Eyes straight forward, so definitely a sight hound. Super long tail. So lots of different colors available for this guy. I think my favorite, where is it? I like the blue brindle. I see a lot of fawns. The blue is pretty too. They're kind of lovely. Here's another one that looks like a beagle. This is the Harrier. Looks just like him. Now this one's smaller than the foxhounds and close to the same size as a beagle. Not a whole lot to say. It is a pack animal and it loves its humans. And he's just a little smaller than the English foxhound. And because he is a little smaller, they do use him for hunting rabbit. So if you like to get on your horse and hunt rabbits, this is your guy. All right, here's another picture of him.
No.
Super cute.
Stop stepping on stuff.
Then we got the Ibizan hound. I always feel like whenever I see this picture, I feel like it looks like he's standing on a runway for planes, just because it's like so desolate in the back. It looks like nothing. But great hunting instinct with this guy. He absolutely loves, let me get my text button up here, loves to sprint. So he will sprint you to the mailbox. Anything that runs, he's going to first. Hey, your dog's barking at you.
I actually was calling them, so they started barking.
But these guys came to the United States in the 50s, so they're relatively new to the United States. So super rare to see them in clinic. Definitely a sight hound, but this one also has a really good sense of hearing, sense of smell. Not something that you'd probably want to take hunting with you, because this guy, the whole time he's chasing something, he's barking. So the prey is going to notice that he's being chased. But bless you. But he's very gentle, mild-mannered dog, very loyal. But they come in white and red. They could be solid. They could be a combination. And they're not seeing any current health concerns. But again, he's pretty new to the United States and AKC, so that may change. Let me pull up. Oh, get rid of this. I do want to find the video of the double suspension gallop for you. Here's an Ibizan hound, another one with a really long tail, very thin. I know they say no health concerns, but I would imagine you'd probably have to watch out for GDV bloat on this guy. Oh, the notes, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Oops. There we go. It's okay. I can put it back. Oh, oh no, what happened? There we go. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. So he loves to sprint, and he also barks while chasing. Victoria, yes, the test that's due tomorrow is only on the sporting group. But we should be able to finish the hounds tomorrow. So I'm thinking of releasing the test then on maybe tomorrow night. There was somebody that messaged me that was having some issues with it. I can't remember who it was though. I didn't get a chance to grade the test yet, so I will have to check into that. Was it? I feel like it was Ty. Was it you, Ty? Somebody messaged me.
What I said?
Was it you, Ty, that had the issue with the test? Somebody messaged me.
Oh no.
No. I will double check and see if there was an error in it. You get all those notes, Andy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You feeling better today?
I'm feeling so much better.
Good, good.
Thank you.
So I found this one guy had this website all dedicated to his dog, and his name was Fizz, he was an Ibizan hound, and I just borrowed one of his pictures because I just thought Fizz was so incredibly cute. He had dedicated the website to Fizz because he had passed, and he'd made a website, so it's no longer up, but I was able to at least borrow one picture of little Fizz. They got a cute little personality, just really, really sweet. He had a little story behind him and how he adopted him, and it was just a incredibly sweet like tribute page. So, but this is Fizz. He's an Ibizan hound. And I just like this picture too because it shows the eyes, how straightforward they are. He's definitely a sight hound, but keen hearing with those big old bat ears. Kind of a big snoot for the smelling. It's very sweet. We'll do the Irish Wolfhound, and then I'm going to pull up that video of the double suspension gallop for you guys. But this is another one of my favorites. Huge dogs. About 120 pounds for males and at least 105 for females. Yeah, they do not live long at all. What's sad is like the bigger the dog is, the harder the heart has to work. So the less time we have to enjoy them, but they are a beautiful, beautiful dog. So they did measure all these big dogs, measured them even up against the Great Dane, and this guy is the tallest if you stand him up when he is on his hind legs. What's that?
The world record. Irish Wolfhound won the world record for world's largest or tallest dog.
Yeah. I have a really neat picture of them standing one up. It's so cool. And he is very sweet. He's known as the gentle giant. Good with kids, good with other pets. Can be protective. And I don't think I'd want to mess with somebody if they had a 120-pound dog with them. But they don't need, big running. Long walks are fine. Let them run on occasion. But another one that needs some soft bedding. All those heavy bones, especially the older they get, they can get pressure sores. And that would be very painful. Just brush them 1 or 2 times a week, and they are very wire-haired, so strip it at least twice a year. And pretty colors, some gray, brindle, red, black. But they are prone to bone cancer. They can get bloat, and they can get elbow dysplasia, just all the weight on their front limbs there. Stripping, there's actually a special brush for that, where it's got some blades, so it basically gets up all the dead hair that's underneath, like the undercoat. So hand stripping will just remove all of that, because otherwise the wire hair kind of holds that undercoat in there, and then they get really stinky.
The way that I've seen it done
Mhm.
is because my boss has, their name just slipped out of, Scottish Terriers, and so
Oh.
they're the type of breed as well that you need a hand strip.
Yeah.
So she has this kind of that's kind of like what you scrub your feet with, that little scrub, that I don't know what material it is.
Yeah.
And then she has a plastic to cover her thumb, so you get the hairs and you just pluck them out.
Oh, wow.
You mean like a foot stone? Like a Pompeii stone?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Those things are rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has to train them while they're puppies to get used to it.
Yeah, I would imagine. We should pull up. We've got some time. Let me pull that
Yeah,
up.
I wouldn't appreciate you pulling out my hair either.
Right? Let me find my window here.
Yeah, it's essential for shows. They don't like it razoring or anything. They have to get hand stripped.
Let's see. Let's look up YouTube. See if we can find hand stripping. And then we'll look at that double suspension gallop before. I gotta check my time so I don't keep you guys late like I did that one day. And stripping dog.
I love the Target lady.
Here's one. I think I have to share my computer audio. How do I do that?
Chocolate. I hate chocolate.
Can you guys hear my computer?
No.
No. There you go.
Today we're going to talk a little
There we
bit
go.
about
How's that?
hand stripping. Now I say it like that because I'm not talking about the term hand stripping when it comes to show grooming. I'm talking about the everyday terriers that come into our salons. Terriers and spaniels, any breed that gets hand stripped, and the owner wants it to look like the breed it's supposed to look like, but without the pain or the time or anything to do with show hand stripping with knives or your fingers or the plucking. I'm going to show you a really easy way to cheat, make that dog look like a breed standard, save you half the time, and send that client home really, really happy. So this is Ricky. She's a border terrier. She's got quite thick coat, as you can see. Probably sheds like crazy all over her owner's home. She looks like she probably hasn't been groomed in about 3 months or so. What I would do with Ricky, the first thing I would do is assess the amount of layers of coat that we have here. As you can see, it's falling out like crazy. So I'm going to take my wide undercoat rake. All of these rakes are made by Ryan's. There's probably about 20 different sizes and shapes, different teeth. What I like to do is start with the wide tooth one just to get some bulk out. So I'm just going to run it over her back. All this is doing is pulling out the hair that's ready to come out, the dead coat. As you can see, it's crazy how much comes out. She's in no discomfort whatsoever. So I'm just going to go over her. All the coat that's staying in there is meant to stay in there. And like I said, the undercoat rake, it's not going to rip any hair, it's not going to cut any hair, it's just pulling out the dead coat. It's the most amazing tool. I use it on just about every single terrier. It gets rid of clipper lines. If you want to take a snap onto your Westie, use one of these afterwards. Takes out all your lines. So I go over her first of all with this one, all over. Shedding like crazy, and she's such a good girl. And then after I'm done with that, I would move to one with a little bit closer together teeth. So this one I think has 32 teeth. What it's going to do is it's going to pull out the hair that this one missed. You could either take the rake to it afterwards, you could just take your hand afterwards, or a cloth afterwards as well. It's a pleasant odor. Like I said, it cuts some of that grease out, and the dog looks a lot shiny.
So I guess she's doing a little bit of a cheat version, but that's okay. But I'm used to using the rake as well. But I'm going to let you go. But before you go, I need Jade, Jada, Marissa, and Savannah to check your chat before you log out. Are y'all still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Just check your chat. Everybody else, though, I will see you tomorrow. We'll finish this up, and I got some videos for you, some breed videos, and I've got, I'm going to pull up that double suspension gallop video for you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow.